Morning peeps, good morning people. All right, let's quickly do this because we need to leave here latest 45 minutes. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vid. As always, thank you so much to everyone that is doing it. All right, I put something on the community tab, I think it was yesterday, to say there is some big news coming for the channel. A lot of you have been guessing as to what the news is. It's funny, like some of the guesses are so random. I'll tell you now what it is. We are moving to a studio, people. I've decided I want to take all this to a studio rather than what I do now, which is in my front room. I've got the first viewing of a studio on Monday. I'm seeing 3 different studios, Monday evening and Tuesday morning. Now, if you want to follow the progress, because I'm going to document it a little bit, follow me on Instagram. So I'm going to put a lot of stuff in my Insta stories. I'll put the Instagram address here now. So have a look, follow it. But yeah, we are going to move to a studio, people. I've decided to kind of take the plunge with this. I do want to start interviewing people. It's a bit, I hate doing interviews over Zoom. I can't lie to you, I hate it. And it's a bit weird getting people to come here as well, which is obviously my front room, as you guys know. So yeah, that's what the news is. It should be fun. Look, I think it'll be fun. I think this setup's I'm gonna try and make it look very similar. The green chair is coming, obviously. But yeah, that's what it is. We are moving to a studio, hopefully by beginning of next month. Again, the viewing for the one on Monday, I think the person vacates that studio on the 4th of June. So I could be in there on the 5th of June. Obviously, I will be in there, but it won't be filming straight away because I'm going to try and paint it, do it up, chuck a couple of things in there. But yeah, that's the news. We're moving to a studio. All right. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Where should we start? What should we start with? I feel like I'm rushing this video a little bit. Apologies. I just got up super late. Let's start with, and let's not rush this story. Let's start with Mayweather and all that nonsense with the Paul brothers. Now, look, there are going to be some of you that are watching this thinking, yeah, but he's making his money. Go and get your money. And I get that. I've been beating that bandwagon, right? If they're silly enough to pay Floyd Mayweather 15, 20 million to fight these YouTubers, then go and get it. But don't embarrass it. Well, he's already embarrassed himself. I just find the whole thing embarrassing. Not for the Paul brothers. This is what they do for Floyd Mayweather. I mean, I was watching it yesterday and he's on stage going back. This is one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. He's on stage with a YouTuber going back and forth whilst Jake Paul, is it Jake? Am I getting them right? Is untying his shoelaces. I'm like, this is what it's got to. Like, this is how they view you. That's the worst thing. Sometimes I'm all, like, again, go and get your money, or whatever, but they would never do that to certain other boxers because they've got that respect for certain fighters. They're doing that to Floyd because they have no respect for him. Like, no respect for one of the greatest to ever do it. Like, untying his shoelaces, removing his cap. He's chasing them around like this is a fucking school playground. He's got his 7-foot monsters. Oh, it's just, the whole thing just, I was cringing. I'm watching it thinking, Floyd, why can't you've made 700 to 800 million. Don't tell me Floyd's broke, by the way. I'm not having that bullshit. You've made 700 to 800 million in your career. Can't you just sit back and enjoy life? Can't you just like watch the madness from afar? Like sit back and make an appearance here and there, maybe, you know, on a TV station or whatever, and just enjoy it. But no, you want to come out and do these kind of weird things with a couple of YouTubers, not even legit fighters, right? Some people might say it was similar to Conor. No, it wasn't, because Conor was a legit fighter, maybe in a different discipline, but Conor was a legit fighter. This is now YouTubers, and he's running around screaming, "I'm going to kill you, motherfuckers." I'm like, what is this, man? Like, honestly, like I was watching it and look, maybe some are going to argue, and I agree, it worked, right? Because we were all talking about, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Look, I've started with this, right? We're going to talk about Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders in a minute, but everyone was talking about that. And all of a sudden, all the casual were like, what's going on over here? And all the eyes were on this Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Floyd thing. Whether it was staged or not, I do not care. I just find it embarrassing for Floyd. Honestly, again, like, they're almost taking a piss out of Floyd a bit. And I'm thinking, come on, Floyd, man. Come on, dude. You're a pound for pound great I mean, unbeaten fighter. And is this worth 10, 15 million? All this. I just don't think it is, personally. I just find it embarrassing. I mean, look, the Paul brothers are winning. I mean, fucking one's gone from, did he get a draw or get beat by KSI to fighting Floyd, and he's going to make millions. The other one fought Ben Askren, and his name is one of the biggest fucking names in the fight industry right now, and I hate to even put him in that, but he's in that. So they're winning, but it doesn't mean legit fighters or former legit fighters have to step up to the plate and embarrass themselves like this. Like, I actually found it all embarrassing, and Floyd's done a lot of embarrassing shit in his time, but I think this tops the lot. And again, I get it. There are some that are going to be, Addy, come on, man. He's making his money. To what point do you have to embarrass yourself to make more money? Like, to what point? Nah, man. I'm sorry. You can't keep chasing a pound note like this. It has got to get to a stage where you just sit back, put your feet up, have a nice cognac, big fat cigar, and just think, you know what? I've done my bit. But no, you're Floyd Mayweather and you're doing an exhibition fight against a couple of YouTubers. I say a couple because they're both involved. Again, they're winning. Floyd's embarrassing. All right, let's talk about a real fight. Let's focus on a real fight, which goes down the early hours of Sunday morning. Remember, we are doing a live watch along. It is in Texas. I keep thinking the fight's going to be 4 or 5 in the morning because I'm used to it happening in Vegas. I don't know the time differences. Someone please let me know in the comment section, what time does this fight actually start? Whatever time it starts, we're going to go 2 hours before that. So if it's a 4 o'clock start, we are getting things going from 1 o'clock in the morning, people, because this has all the feelings of something special, doesn't it? It's got that. I mean, this is the biggest fight this year. I mean, yes, AJ Fury could happen, but if it doesn't, there's nothing beating this. There's nothing beating it. I spoke to someone the other day. I was like, well, what if Canelo beats Billy Joe and then fights Caleb Plant for all the marbles? It's not all about all the marbles, because Josh Taylor versus Ramirez is for all the marbles. Doesn't mean that. It's just a fight where you've got an antagonist in Billy Joe Saunders, and I don't mind that. It's weird how some people are upset with Billy Joe Saunders' antics. Like, what, have you just started watching Billy Joe today? This is what he does. He's just now doing it to a wider audience. This is Billy Joe Saunders, and I, for one, love it. Get under the skin of Canelo, goad him. Whether or not it works come Sunday morning is another thing altogether, but I do not mind it. In fact, I actually like it. I don't like when he does these silly things, when he's talking to press people and he's, I don't know, swearing, all that kind of shit. I don't like that. But in terms of getting under Canelo's skin, love it. Everyone else that fights Canelo just seems to turn up. Yildirim turned up. Callum Smith turned up. Now, GGG is a bit different because his English isn't great, but turned up. Danny Jacob turned. No, can someone finally piss this kid off? And Billy Joe Saunders has pissed this kid off so much, he started speaking English. This guy has started speaking English. I loved when they done the first face-off and Billy Joe Saunders walks in with I think it was a Versace robe, and he's got his boxing footwear on already. And I don't know I'm sure Canelo understands what he's saying, but when he's saying, like, you like beef, I'm sure Canelo gets what he means. But then someone did tell me that Canelo, and I didn't hear it, but Canelo kind of jabbed back and said, you do too. As if, obviously, to reference the fact that he failed a drug test in the lead up to Demetrius Andrade fight. All fair in love and war. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to duke it out, right? This is it. At the end of the day, they're going to get in the ring and they're going to throw hands, and people are offended because of Billy Joe's antics. They're going to fight. This isn't fucking, as I always say, this isn't badminton. This isn't table tennis. They're going to have it. Love it. Don't mind it at all. Even the one yesterday where Billy Joe puts his hand out, Canelo ignores it, then Canelo acknowledges it, and Billy goes like that. Bit childish, bit kiddie. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. The only thing that annoys me about this fight, and I am fully invested in it, fully sold. The only thing that annoys me about this fight is the fact that no Brits have travelled out. I mean, don't get me wrong, they will be drowned out by the Mexicans, right? I don't think Billy Joe can bring out a Hatton-like fucking fan base. He's not 40,000, ain't flying out. But it would have been good, even if it's 5,000, 6,000, it would have been good because, you know, they make their noise. They make their noise and they would have been heard. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame. I like what Tyson Fury's doing, but it's not enough. We need a few thousand Brits out there. But look, this is going to be special. I can't wait for it. I've kind of gone back and forth in my mind, not about who the winner is, but how the fight will play out. And sometimes you've almost just got to go with what you thought when the fight was first announced? When the fight was first announced, it was immediately, oh, Canelo. And sometimes you got to go with that. You can't be tricked by the promos and all the little press releases and all the other antics. You've got to go with what you go with. And I've gone with Canelo from the get-go just because, again, he can do everything. He can do everything. There's nothing he can't do. And not only that, but every time I think I see him fight, could be wrong here, but I think he just looks better and better. Every single time I see him fight, I feel like there's an improvement. There's an improvement in the gas tank. There's an improvement in the movement. There's an improvement in the punch selection. Everything. Everything. And unfortunately, every time I see Billy Joe fight, I see slippage. I didn't think he looked good in the YouTuber fight, on the undercard of the YouTubers, where he fought Marcelo something. I can't remember the guy's name, the Argentine fight. I didn't think he looked good there. I didn't think he looked too good against Martin Murray. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are comfortable fights, and some will say that, yeah, he will go up another gear. All right, let's see what gear he can go. Because I tell you now, in order to beat Canelo, he's going to have to be driving a Bugatti that goes to like 7 and 8 gears. This is no gear 5 car. He's going to have to go all the way up to fucking, like, literally pedal to the metal. That's what he's going to have to do, and I just don't see it. I'm seeing a photo here of Canelo right in front of me. He looks pissed off. Looks pissed off, boy. And some will say, oh, that's going to throw him from his game plan. No. Ain't happening. Nothing throws this guy from his game plan. You guys know the story now of when he was fighting Rocky Fielding and his brother was kidnapped in Mexico, and he's having to, in the week lead up to the fight, negotiate with kidnappers. Now, I don't know if he directly negotiated, but regardless, his brother's being kidnapped. He still went in and done business. It wasn't even like, we didn't even know that story until a couple of weeks ago. So it wasn't even like he used it as some sort of, I started slow because my mind is elsewhere. He is a killer. Good luck, Billy Joe. We're going live Sunday. Can't wait. All right. What stories have we got before we... Shit, all right, let's move on very quickly. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor will happen in 2022, says Lou DeBella. All right. I mean, Katie Taylor's, she's active. She's active. It's a fight that was supposed to happen before the second Delphine Pursuit. Remember who stepped in? It was supposed to be Serrano. I don't know what happened and break down the communication or money, but yeah, it didn't happen. Logan Paul warns Mayweather, this shit is so effing personal now. Next. No cap, Floyd Mayweather threatens to kill Jake Paul following hat histrionics. Next. Cotto versus Marquez not happened on June 12th. Likely moves to July. I don't even care if that, like... Oh, God, boxing's so funny. Like, Cotto versus Marquez, who cares? It's a shame because they're two of my favourite fighters, but I don't care, man. I really don't care. This is crazy. Grand jury indicts Felix Verdejo and one accomplice for murder, kidnapping, and carjacking. Fucking lock the door and throw away the key. Lock the door and throw away the key. Hearn, Canelo Saunders ticket sales have surpassed US indoor record for boxing. That's crazy. I'm trying to think what the record might have been before that. I'm guessing it would have been Pac-Man versus Margarita or Pac-Man versus Joshua Clottey. But yeah, look, it's impressive, man. I mean, this is going to be very much like when AJ fought Klitschko at Wembley. This is going to be it. It's going to be crazy. Honestly, I really can't wait for this. It's going to be spectacular. If Billy Joe can just... Oh, man. I was thinking if Billy Joe, even if he loses, but it's close... And then they have the rematch over here because Canelo's spoken about coming over here. Imagine they have the rematch over here at Wembley. Because if Billy Joe can make it close, I think there'll be enough interest in a rematch and it over here. That would be good. That would be good. Come on, Billy Joe, man. Make it close, man. Come on. All right, have we got anything else to quickly talk about? Terry Harper, injured her hand, withdraws from a unification fight against Hyun Mi Choi. This is strange because this was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the last fight on the Sky and Matchroom contract. I'm pretty sure this was it. Or I think there might have been one more after. But yeah, I mean, if this is the last fight on the contract and they cancel the whole card now because Terry Harper was supposed to be headlining this, what happens? I mean, Tasha Jonas has thrown her hat in the ring saying, look, You know, I'm happy to fight, you know, lose a few pounds. I'm happy to go, but I do wonder if they're going to scrap the whole card now. Because, yeah, I don't even remember what was on that card. I don't remember. Was that the card that Boatsi was on? Let me have a quick look. 2 secs, peeps. Can't be, can it? Don't think it is. Event. It might have been that, you know. It might have been that. If it is now, honestly, I really don't know. But I'm guessing it might have been. But that fight's next week, that fight card. It might have been. If it is, I guess Boatsi is going to headline. Dalton Smith's on the card. Decent British lightweight fight. Gamal Yafai's on the card. Tommy McCarthy. European cruiserweight belt. Lerone Richards. Obviously, look, Harper would have been nice on it, but it is what it is. Still a decent little Saturday night fight card. That nothing great, but Saturday night fight card. What else we got? A couple of things. Revash Jennings WBC Bridgeweight title fight postponed until September. Okay. What else? Areola. Okay, this is interesting. This Andy Ruiz would easily knock out AJ. They didn't expect this Chris Areola. He didn't knock you out, but he can knock out AJ. What are you saying? Like, what am I reading something wrong here? He didn't knock you out, but this one would knock out AJ. Okay, cool. Anyway, I like the Nightmare. I've always liked the Nightmare. He just never came in shape. Looked good. He did look good, but we'll see what happens with him next. One thing for sure, though, that he will stick around. Canelo Alvarez says Terence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez, and Inoue top his pound-for-pound list. Okay, that's interesting. And you know what's interesting about that? Because okay, so he'd have Crawford as number 1, Lopez number 2. Obviously, this is him not in the list. Inoue number 3. Okay. What's interesting is the Bud being number 1, because you get a lot of people, a lot of fight fans that look at Bud's resume and say, oh, he ain't done nothing though, man. You know, all that kind of stuff. This is how respected he is in the fight game, that Canelo is saying he would be number 1. That's when fighters are watching fighters do shit and be like, fuck, this guy good. This guy good. And that's what he's doing. Interesting that he's not got Spence in there. Maybe it's because Spence has been calling him out recently. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. You know, it's a shame that Chocolatito didn't get the result over Estrada. I thought Chocolatito won because he would have cracked my top 5. And it'd been nice to see him in the top 5. But hopefully they run that again. Anything else before we quickly... what's this? Actually, what's this story here? Dylan White, it would be good if I blow away Areola in 4 or 5. Thought he beat Ruiz. Is he trying to say that potentially he could fight Areola? I mean, there is talks about Dylan White having a fight in America. A lot of people said that fight will be against Trevor Bryan. Why can't he just... This is what, you know, boxing fucking annoys me. Just make Ruiz White somehow. Like, somehow make it. Like, Eddie, let Dylan White go over and fight on PBC. Would it be a pay-per-view event in America? I'd like to think it would be, because Ruiz is that guy now. Tell you now, it's a pay-per-view event over here. Why can't they just do that? Why can't they just do that? But no. Jesus Christ. And finally, Canelo, I think I have 7 years left until I retire. How old's Canelo? How old is he? 30. He's right, isn't he? 30. He's only 30. Man's been boxing since he was 15. Love him. I love him. Aside from that tainted meat shit, I love him. All right, I'll let you guys know what time the live stream starts. I do think it'll start around 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, but we are going to do a couple more videos before that. Anyway, peace.